I'd like to call the meeting to order. If we'd all stand for the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Hunt.
Present.
Mr. Garwood.
Here.
And Mr. Meyer.
Here.
Fellows, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes of October the 2nd, 2014?
I have, sir, and I move a motion that they be approved as presented.
I'll second that, Pat.
Thank you.
Being approved as presented. Tonight we're going to kind of reverse things because we have quite a few guests here tonight. So we're going to have Seabase go first with your presentation, and then the lady that can't really write her name very well will probably go second because that's kind of short. I was only able to identify her because of the guy that signed after her. And then you'll be next because you got a couple things you want to talk about. Okay. So, go ahead.
Good evening. Thanks for letting me be here this evening. My name is Larry Kusiba, and I run the Sustainable Opportunity Development Center out of Salem, Ohio, and you may recognize me. I was here before with the intermodal facility over here with some questions back then. What I do is economic development for Salem and the region, and we have approached the Columbiana Chamber and the city with presentations prior to this to replicate what you have in front of you in those two charts, which is known as Seabase, and it stands for Small Community Enhanced Economic Development and Business Attraction System. Now you know why we call it Seabase, because it's too much of a mouthful to go every time. I have with me tonight Stephen Rouse. Stephen is sitting over there. He's going to play computer guru. We're actually networked through my cell phone, so we'll see how this works tonight. But Stephen is the brains behind this. He's the one that put the displays together. He's the one that put all the software in behind the scenes. And this is designed to help small communities attract business, if you will, and to also, as I found out, answer all the reoccurring questions that chambers and economic development groups get, such as what your traffic look like, where are your zoning areas, what are some of your economic incentives, and those types of things. So Stephen's going to call the first one up, and the basic layout of the map, and you can take a look at the rear. We have the big map. This is based on Google, and off to the left we have a series of menu items from which you can go ahead and call up. Right now that is the industrial area. There are also some other areas we can pull up on the various things, and these are the zoned areas that sit over in Salem. So we're going to use Salem as the replication. Down at the bottom you can see we have some tax abated areas, TIFs, tax increment financing zones. This is all done as to be an easy map overlay for elected officials, for the economic development practitioners, chambers of commerce, to be able to answer questions concerning the community. What Stephen just loaded is we had over in Salem a separate program that they put the GIS information system, and this is the water system. Is that correct, Stephen? Yes, this is the water system. And actually this is the entire water system for the city of Salem. And this is available online to anybody who wants to go look at it. What Stephen just did is clicked on a segment there, and then there's another information box that pops up, and that information box tells you the length of the pipe, the diameter of the pipe, and the locations of the pipe. We also have a disclaimer on there because the Salem Water Department doesn't really want you digging until you talk to them to confirm this is where the lines are. Now this is the same GIS system they will use, but we wanted to go put it on here as a disclaimer so we coordinate between the Water Department, the Utilities Department, etc., and when people are going to go ahead and take a look at it. So as you can see, there's a very interactive way that the maps can be brought up, overlaid. We can zoom in, we can go zoom out. And Stephen put one function in here that really helps me out when I get lost, and it's a map centering feature that's up in the top center. And what it does is takes you back to the center of the city in a certain amount of zoom level at that point in time. But as you can see, At one point there, he flipped over to the satellite views. You can use that if you need to. You can use the Google Map view, if you will. There's also a terrain feature. So there's different ways that you can go ahead and use the facility or the maps and the interactive displays to go ahead and do economic development. Why don't you zoom out and let's use the traffic data real quick. We're going to limit this to no more than 10 or 15 minutes. I've given you both the cards and these instructionals so that you can go into this and look at it anytime you want. It's available online 24 hours a day as long as the system's up. One of the questions we get when we're looking at hotels, restaurants, etc., well, how much traffic are you going to have? If you've ever gone to the Ohio Department of Transportation website and tried to find out where the information is in the graphic format, it's a little bit of a challenge. And what Steven's done is created an algorithm that allows you to go ahead and take it, and it does two things. Down the bottom, it actually puts in descending or ascending order, whatever you'd like, the amount of traffic in that area. And then as you roll over, we actually have located on the map the vehicle which is located to the exact identical location to where ODOT took the traffic information. What you can do then is you can click on one of the cars up at the top, in this case that one, and what it does is give you the 24-hour traffic count for that for both automobiles and trucks. So we actually take the data that is in the ODOT database and actually put it in a graphic, easy-to-use format, so that if you're trying to locate a hotel, you're trying to do a restaurant, and it's all based on, if you will, in this case, traffic flow. Now you have the information by which to do it. You can work with a company that's in Seattle. You can do it in San Antonio, Texas, New York City, wherever you may be talking to somebody that may be looking at building that. Down at the bottom, like I said, is just a data section to go ahead, and as you said, I mentioned earlier, you can see the little cars lighting up there. You can go to the heaviest traffic area, which for us is out by Walmart, right there on 14, and you can go ahead and find the information for that and click on it and see what the totals are. This also will help the city planning folks as they go forward and looking at traffic flow, what kind of traffic they're looking at. And I know you're going to have some oil and gas folks here this evening. You can go some later on down the road, take a look at how much traffic has increased at various locations, and do it in a graphic format. The key element that Stephen did, though, is we don't own the data on any of this stuff. We integrate the data, we take it from other sites and bring it in, import it in, and then graphically display it, such as an ODOT. So the next time ODOT comes in and does a traffic study, we go in, all you have to do is look at the last update. If the data is a newer one with a newer traffic study, then just Stephen imports the data, and it's up and running within a matter of a few minutes or so. We'll find out how good Stephen is down the road. What's the next one we're going to do, Stephen? Why don't we do the real estate? The real estate. One of the things that we found that is interesting for Salem is the availability of industrial properties. We deal mostly in industrial development. We look at attracting companies in the manufacturing sector. You'll be seeing an announcement next Tuesday in the newspaper. In fact, Larry Shields here this evening will be writing the article. And what it does is going to talk about the manufacturing areas. What we did was, one of the key elements that we're looking to attract people into is, well, what real estate is available? This is not homes and apartments, that's we're talking about either commercial or industrial settings. So if you want to go ahead and lay out the industrial setting, and in this case, which one did you call it? I can't read from back here.
This is out on 14 Route 165.
165. Okay, but you can see the information. We take the information they provide us, the picture, all the graphics, all the contact information, the square footage, etc., and we just put that on down at the bottom. Then it again, just following the same format as before, graphically displays it up top. You can click on the for sale sign up there. You can go ahead and get the price. And in this case, is that custom cut?
No, let's see. That
You
one.
see the custom cut? Let's see that. But anyway, what we do also is we link up to the real estate company that has the property. So if it's LoopNet, if it's a local, Harry Hoffmeister over there in Salem, Hoffmeister Realty, if it's one of the national firms, we link off to that. Again, we don't own the data. The data we go after and do that. And what you can do is also then just put the entire display at the bottom, a listing of all the companies by going and clicking on the left-hand side. And now if you just want to go look by square footage or size, and the same thing, it highlights the property. You can zoom on over to the property and take a look at it. Down in the lower left-hand side of the corner, we put in all the economic incentive packages. So like in Salem, we have a tax abated area, and you can go ahead and pick out down there at the bottom of the tax abated area. You can click on the, as I mentioned, the district on the left-hand side up there, and it brings it up. We link to the codified ordinances. We do not own it. The reason we don't, City Council passes a new ordinance. I don't want to be responsible for putting it in. City Council already has that set up. It automatically goes in the system. And all we do is take you and link you to that codified ordinance, if you will. So once again, we don't want to own the data because that data is constantly changing. I can use, for example, school systems where every August they get a new report card. We don't want to have to go in every August and try to maintain this system, so we link over to the schools and that. Can we skip the video work on the community center real quick?
Sure.
We've also found a way, Stephen put in here, we hooked up with some of the areas in the, or I guess that's a hospital, sorry, in the video. Put in the hospital, and we also put in the Salem Community Center. Stephen found a way to link into the video. We'll see if it works through my phone. It may be too much for my phone and the data to pull through. But he embedded the video down there, and you can actually watch it online. And it looks like it's going to be too much data for my phone to handle. So I need to, Stephen, you need to buy me a new phone with more gigs or whatever. That does whatever, all that stuff. So, but it's the same format you can see every time. So on the left-hand side, you can pull it up. You can go ahead and look at the map. You can change that over to a street view. You can go to a satellite view, as we showed you earlier. Why don't you just click on, for grins, all of the zone districts? The whole works.
Sure.
See if that overloads my phone. And it doesn't. And it actually pulls up every zone district in the city of Salem. You can go ahead and click on one of those. It will show you what zoned area it is. You can see the nomenclature on the left. And then you can get down to the codified ordinances, which then show you what types of buildings, what type of construction, what type of companies can go ahead and locate into that area. So I'm going to stop there. That is real quick. We have about an hour presentation we normally do. But I wanted to give you an idea of what is going on. So what we did was we approached the chamber with a proposal. We are actually bringing $4,000 to the table through Home Savings Foundation to help offset the cost of that. And what the city and the chamber have asked is to include the township in bringing all that data, that availability through the entire township area to you. So your zoned areas, whatever you may have, buildings, etc., we would go ahead and put that into there. So April, over at the chamber, she snuck in behind me, she didn't. She's got the actual proposal. The total cost was around $7,500. So we brought in, as I said, through Home Savings, the grant from them for $4,000. So it's a partnership, if you will, between the township, the city, and the chamber in coming up with the rest of the information. What Stephen and I would do is basically put this together. And then we would turn it over to the chamber. Stephen has $100 a month, which would go out for 3 years to make sure that everything continues to run, updates. So if there's changes you want, we give you 10 map overlays briefly, and then there are other map overlays that we can go ahead and work towards in that. But you get to pick and choose the map overlays that are applicable to your area. So for example, let's just say there was no zoning in the township whatsoever, you not necessarily would want to do the zoned areas. If you don't have the water lines in, there is a way. Stephen proved, is the railroad still in there? Is there a map in there? Stephen actually, there's the railroad. Stephen actually found a way that we can actually do points using the GIS system and doing latitude and longitude, but it's very cumbersome and time inclusive, if you will. We were down in Minerva, Ohio, and they have no GIS system. In fact, some of the water lines are in this engineer's office, and some are in that engineer's office, some are over here. We could do that, but we would not want to go do that. If the well site guys wanted to go ahead and put the well sites on, we could go do that and show you the status and the progress of that type of stuff. So there's all kinds of things that we can go do. One of the areas Stephen's got up there right now is women-owned businesses. He also had up on there the electrical control towers, and there up to the left is one of the substation areas. Due to 9/11, they won't let us put the entire electrical power grid up anymore. So what we do is we go into a city and we say, well, where's the most likely economic development activities going to occur? For us, it's the north TIF zone, the east TIF zone, and in our industrial section, 2 or 3 areas in there. We worked with, in this case, First Energy. They give us the data between what kind of KVA line they have, etc. We can put that in because as you're looking at trying to bring in our case, heavy industrial user, you're going to need to know what kind of power requirements you're going to need. So we can do, we have surface water runoff in there, we have the water lines, we have the sewer lines, we can go on and on. What I ask you to do is just go online, play with the system. If you got any suggestions for improvements, let me know. I gave you the information on how to get a hold of me. April, or the city manager, knows how to get a hold of us as well. But I'd like to open up, this is quick and dirty, believe me. I'd like to open up, have any questions, or anybody in the audience that has any questions.
I'll just ask one question. You said $7,500 is the total cost?
Yes, ma'am.
4,000 has been subtracted from that, or is that an extra contribution?
No, that would come off of that total.
So it's 3,500 left?
Right. 3,500 total.
Would that be what we would?
No, that would be a combined total between you, the city, and the chamber.
Gotcha.
Okay. We're bringing 4,000 based on
Thank
the
you.
rent and home savings.
How many hits on that website do you get?
We just put it up, so this is still in the demonstration phase. Most of the hits are myself and City Council and the Economic Development right now. One of the issues we are addressing is getting with area development and site selection, the two online big name site selectors, and working with those guys to get this site populated that way. So we're just in the early stages. We just finished this up. This was a local government innovation fund grant from the state of Ohio. We had actually until December of this year to go ahead and get it online, and we brought it up in May, June timeframe. So we're still making modifications to it. We haven't actually tracked, unless you know, Stephen, off the top of your head, we haven't actually tracked how many hits we're getting at this point. But we're trying to get City Council to use it. It's easy for them to use. Members in the community, if they're going to do a renovation project or whatever. And we have used it with 3 or 4 things. We went after an Appalachian Regional Commission grant. We used this to go out and look at an industrial piece of property out on Route 14 north and west of the city where we have currently just septic. In order to connect to the sewer system, we have to go on a Norfolk Southern Railroad. We were able to demonstrate that with this, copy the maps, and put that in as part of the proposal. We have another one that we were doing out on the east side of town over by Home Depot. The organization wanted to put a daycare center in a specific area. When we called up the map, we could see between the terrain map and the sewer, there was no lift station. That was about a $500,000 project, and that just blew the budget right out, so they've looked at a different location for putting this daycare center in. So those are 2 real examples that we've used just recently. We're also working with a company from California. I affectionately call it Hotel California. They want to build a hotel out in their TIF zone, if you're familiar with Salem Chrysler, out of that vacant 40 acres out there. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. If you have any questions, please get in touch with me. Please go online and play with it, and if you have any questions, give us a holler. Give us some feedback. We're always looking to improve it. We're looking at other map overlays, such as all the economic development projects over the last 2 years for Salem. We could put the hospital expansion, State of Cadillac, Salem Chrysler. Soon to be announced women-owned manufacturing on Tuesday, so watch for the Salem newspaper Tuesday morning. And if you don't like the article, blame Larry, because he's the guy that's writing it.
Is it going to be in the Farm and Dairy?
Might be the Alliance Review, too.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of the Alliance Review, did anybody read it the other day?
No.
And they just announced in big headlines in the Alliance Review that there's going to be an ethane cracking plant built in Salem. There's only one problem. It was Salem Township, and it was down in Monroe County. But it's there, right on the front page, and guess who was getting all the phone calls today? So, just a little forgot one word called township of that. So, any questions?
No, and thanks for coming.
Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Hi, I'm Linda Garwood. I'm Kate to talk to you about the Rebel Run that we do in November, on November 22nd. We asked if the township could do block off the roads again for us that you've done for us for the last, I don't know how many years. And it's, I should give you the paper there so you can see. It's the same route as we've done before, and it'd be from like 8:20 in the morning until like 9:40. And just to let us know and to put a notice in the newspaper whether we need to do that or you do, I don't know. I don't know that part. But we can do whatever. But I just wanted to know, because we're going to start at the parking lot and take the normal route around, and then we need barriers set at Crestview Road, at the bus garage, Milton Road, State Route 558, and we also have an officer already signed up to be with us, so that part is taken care of. So really, we're just asking if we can
Then we
still
can
do
put
it.
it on the website.
What's the date? November 22nd. Starts at 8, well, the red starts at 8:30 in the morning, but we're talking about 8:20 to get everything set up.
Do you have a copy of that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you guys want one too?
How long is the road usually closed for that?
They said that till like 9:40. Do you want a copy too?
I'm not running, so it'll be 9:40.
This is the one Janet always said. right?
Yeah,
When we
she
run it,
could
it comes
come
to
to
me.
Do you want one too?
Yeah.
That's fine. That's, okay?
Yes. Yes.
Any questions? Anything else I can help you with? This is my first year of being with it. They added us into the girls' soccer team and the track team. We're doing it for a Fundraiser too, with the 4 seats.
That's pretty good turnout out there.
Yeah. Last year I think it was like 150 runners. It keeps growing every year a little bit.
Circle court, right?
Yeah. That same exact route we've done before.
And it's
Hopefully
the 4
weather-
Cs, right?
Yeah, knock on wood.
Hopefully the weather will cooperate.
We've run in snow and rain.
So it is to support the 4 Cs.
4
Okay.
Cs and then girls track and soccer teams.
Okay.
We kind of do a split.
Okay.
Can I have a motion to approve this and do it? Authorize Mel to do what is necessary?
So moved.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Garwood?
Yes.
Mr. Minor?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Chesapeake? Oh, no, Hillcourt.
My name is BJ Batterson with Cocorp Energy Company. Brad Knappich is here with me from RAR Engineering. Here for 2 things tonight, and I believe that my colleague Stephanie McMurray may have talked to somebody, I hope, regarding a central production facility in the township. If not, I guess I'll give you the intro at this point. We're looking at, and that's not why Brad's here, but the first thing, we're looking at needing a central production facility in the area. We are proposing to drill at this point at 3 different well sites. We're currently developing plans for these 3 sites. In order to dry the gas and get it into a sales line, we need to centralize all the gas into a pipeline, and then take that gas and treat it as far as drying it, compressing it, and getting into a sales line. So in order to do that, we obviously need what we call a central production facility. Within Fairfield Township zoning ordinance, there is no mention of a central production facility or anything of the sort. So we're asking the question, what is our step forward? Stephanie McMurray is our regulatory lead for the Northeast United States. She, I think, has been in contact with maybe zoning.
Yeah, I was just trying to access my email. Stephanie's repeatedly been in contact with me, and she's been repeatedly informed that she needs to send documentation, and she said she was going to do that, and it never comes through.
Okay.
I can't answer a question when I don't know, when I ask her to explain to us the process so I can bring it to our board members and our Board of Appeals, and she says, "Oh, okay," and then I don't get anything.
Okay,
So we're not trying to be difficult. I mean, I can speak
No,
for
no,
zoning, but
that's-
we
I
need
understood.
information. I
Understood.
can't answer a question if I don't
Right.
quite understand what
Okay.
you're
No,
answering.
that's
And
good.
we're not as familiar with these things as you are, so...
No, that's fine, and I apologize if she's...
No, I think she was working on it, and I
Okay.
know she had said it was going to take
Yeah,
some time.
and-
I thought we were going to get something before you came in today.
Yeah, and
And I'm double checking to make sure, because she could have
No,
gone in to clean
no,
up, but
she
I'm not
kinda-
seeing it.
we'll put it this way, it came through today to me, and I was coming for the Ruma, and
Okay, so that's how...
she said, well, if you're going to be there anyway, why don't you talk to them about this? So, I
You're
mean,
thrown under the bus,
she-
is what happened. Okay.
no, I mean, she gave me this presentation, and it's very basic in describing, and I think your conversations were centered around, that was for your Chesapeake comment. Your discussions were centered around what is this going to look like? You know, what is a central facility, as we call it, or a central production facility, versus and maybe some of you have seen a more major natural gas processing plant, which would be much more in the way of taking the liquids off of the gas and fractionating that down into its elements, producing, basically stripping that gas all the way down to a pure ethane, propane, butane, all that stuff. So the photos that you see there really give you an example of the difference between the two facilities, and that first photo is a scary thing to look at. Industrial processing plant. That is not what we are proposing here. This is what we would call a processing plant.
So this is not...
This is not what we're doing.
Northwest facility, basically.
Right. Now, we do have one of these facilities. It's obviously not your township.
That's pretty cool.
I apologize. I've been on staff at Hillcorp for 3 or 4 weeks. I couldn't tell you what township it's in. I should know that, but
Does that also apply to the next photo? That would not
yes.
look like...
So the photo is labeled industrial processing plant.
That's not...
That's not what we're looking at.
And could it grow into that?
No, we are not set up, and frankly, the gas that we look to produce here, and the gas that we've produced in Salem Township, which is going to be very similar, is a dry enough gas that really we need limited processing at all. I mean, it's just a little bit of what we would call dehy, which would just dry the gas out and get any remaining liquids off of it. There's not enough. It's not a rich enough gas as far as liquids or oil that we really need to process. So if you keep flipping, and the processes are listed here that Stephanie put together as far as what the different equipment is and what it does. And frankly, I don't know the processes, and I don't know that it really matters in this forum as far as what the mechanics of it are. But the photos, the Pulaski Whiting Central Facility. This is a facility that we have in Pulaski Township in Lawrence County, Pennsylvania. It's very similar to what we're proposing on this site.
Can I ask can you
yes.
confirm for everyone where the site is that you're proposing?
It is, and this would be in your hands as far as the Ruma goes. It's on that map. At this moment, we're off of, and again, I apologize. I don't know this location as well as I would if I was here a little bit longer, but it's off of Fairfield School Road.
Here,
What's that?
on top of this road.
Yes.
And where?
I'll show you the map here.
I saw it in the big...
Yeah.
Okay, so it's on...
So it's in section 28?
Section 28, it looks like it's right up before 558.
It's 558 here.
Because my, and again, I don't know if it's germane, but like, you do realize there's a school right here.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is basically it's a collection point for our produced gas, and so there will be a couple compressor skids there. There will be some equipment to dry the gas and get it into sales, meter sites, or meter skids and that kind of thing. So if you look through those photos, that's pretty typical. There's tankage there, which will take the fluids off of the gas. A lot of water would be the.
Do these photos represent this facility is being constructed at this time, or is that heavy equipment in those trucks part of the process?
This is, being that we're flaring gas there, that would be fully constructed. And the construction equipment would likely be just moving stuff around. So that's operational. I couldn't tell you when that was taken, but it's
All these are the same facility.
likely here this summer. So, I mean, if obviously...
How much acreage is required for this facility?
The footprint of these is generally, it's either 350 feet by 500 or somewhere in that range. 350 by 500 has been, this one might be 400 by 500 is what's on paper right now. So it's 4 or 5 acres. So obviously, I mean, I don't want to put you guys on the spot as far as making that decision. That's something that the township needs to discuss, and surely.
Well, if anything, it's making a conditional use. You can have
Yeah,
to
that's right. I
talk to
don't
the
know.
board and see what they want to do. We have 3 boards in the township. One deals with amending our zoning resolution. The other one hears things like this.
Right.
And then this is the trustee board that we have. So if you'll...
I know we don't have a lot of jurisdiction over a lot of things.
Right,
This is a gray area, and if they can wait, I just don't want our residents to wake up and they had no idea that this was coming in.
And that's why a conditional use and go through.
Yeah, I have Stephanie's contact information. I think that's what if you're comfortable with it, that's what I would be comfortable with. I'd like to share
I think that
this
would be best.
with the board and see what they think, and then if they feel it needs to go before it as a conditional use, I'll be happy to get what I get with Stephanie.
Yeah, for now, I mean, I'm kind of transitioning into this, and I'll be more active, and you'll probably see me more than her, but, yep, if you ever...
I appreciate you bringing that, because what we were waiting.
No, that's it, and if you want electronic copy, Stephanie obviously has that.
Can you, I can ask her for one. I mean, I can email her and ask her
If
for
you
her,
want
you
to,
talk
or,
her.
I mean, I'm surely going to be talking to her.
Well, let's
more,
vote,
so.
and then she'll feel completely loved, and she'll know that we got that.
The power source will be just the generation.
Say that again?
Power source will be the generators.
We would probably look to bring in 3-phase power, if it's available, and I know that they've probably looked into that. But again, I haven't worked on the project enough to. I haven't.
That's why with a conditional use, all the questions can be answered. We can move forward.
Yeah, we don't know how loud, what it smells like, what it looks like. I mean, there's issues here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the photos there are. That's finished product.
And maybe or we'll get to it when we get to the process. Is there any kind of, with this kind of a thing, do they ever have something like you have to stay so far away from schools or residential areas, or no?
haven't run into it. No, I mean, that would be something that'd be within the zoning ordinance typically. Obviously, you don't want to put it, 500 feet from a playground or something. And that's less of the danger, and more, I mean, the danger from being that close. It's more, you don't want people, if it's there and it's visible, people are going to come look to see what's going on. And, it's an easier vandal target at that point. So I like to try to stay a little bit off the beaten path if possible.
But it's in an AR.
Yeah, that would be an AR.
Is it a quiet operation?
There's, it's not. There are engines moving.
Constant?
It's constant. It's not a. With drilling, you get the ups and the downs, and with hydraulic fracturing, you get some ups and downs of noise. It's a steady engine. And obviously depending on topography, and location of sound receivers, you may be able to hear it off the pad. You'll be able to hear it on the pad for sure.
Is this the closest facility that's similar to us or no?
There's one. We have one located in Mahoning Township, or Mahoning County. Sorry, just across the state line from Mahoning Township, Pennsylvania. It's a stone's throw from Pennsylvania border, on the landfill property.
Springfield
Township.
Limestone.
It's Poland Township.
Poland Township.
Poland Township.
Yeah.
Look it up. Anything else?
The original reason that we were planning to be here was for the Rooma, not necessarily associated with the facility as much, because this Fairfield School Road's in pretty good shape. It was, and it's not an absolute final location at this moment. That is our plan, and we would like to go forward with getting the Rooma for that location. But there's two well pads that we're proposing, obviously in the area. One on McNichol property, one on Knowlker property. They're located in the map that I think you've got, Barry. I don't know if everybody's.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make copies for all the other trustees, so yes.
And you have it there.
Yeah, everybody has.
Okay.
Just so you guys know, I don't know if you're familiar with the McNichol or Knowlker, but that's basically off Woodville and Lower Elkton.
So we've done. You can go ahead. You were.
Yeah, basically we went through. We did the Rooma. It's been submitted to Bob Durbin with Columbiana County, as well as I passed it along to the township, to Barry, to Melvin, and I believe it's been distributed amongst everybody. I think the biggest thing we want to get across today is the studies. Actually, Bob already has sent it up to their, I'll call it their legal office, to pass them through. So what I want to try to do is have it voted on here so that we can get it okayed, and then when the paperwork comes through, it can be finalized, signatured, so we don't have to wait till the following meeting, and we can continue on with everything.
I guess conditional upon
the county approval, correct.
Acceptance.
You mean you don't want to come back?
No, they would like to get started.
I
I love it out here. This is like where I grew up. So
with obviously timing is always our biggest driver. So.
Well, there's 3 rooms, correct?
correct. Yeah. Plus the one we did the one for Fairfield. There's the one for the tap pad on Lower Elkton Road. We did one for the additional site that comes off Crestview right after Lower Elkton, and then the one that's on Woodville Road. So, in association with that study too, there's also going to be some ODOT stuff that we're going to go through for just widening some of the intersections where you're coming up to 558, especially on Woodville and Lower Elkton. I'm actually working on some of those plans now, but I know that's not really contingent, but we'll obviously keep you in the loop on those as well.
And those are, those intersections are going to be an issue for the rig rolling in, for the bigger rig loads.
Well,
You guys
turning radius is what we're concerned about.
And I mean, you guys, this township's had, obviously Chesapeake's been here, so it's not new to you. So you know, the rig size as far as the trucks, we have to design for that, but we are able to get construction equipment in and start moving on construction of the pad. We'll propose to come in after the construction of the pad and upgrade those intersections as needed. So we're kind of it's a moving process, so we can
Do you know what the
meet everybody's
status
needs.
of these are?
I know that Bob took them up to the legal. I know he's reviewed them, and I believe he's been in contact with maybe you, Bill. I mean, Bob Perry. I'm sorry.
It's Carl.
Too many new names. I never forget a face
I
with
walked
terrible
with
names.
Andy yesterday afternoon, late afternoon, and I hadn't heard anything today back. So in the discussions with Bob, you know, just looking at the proposal and everything that we've seen, that, you know, with the easels and the traffic counts and the cores that we have, they've met the data. You know, they feel that the strengthening can wait until springtime. I have concerns about Lower Elkton Road a little bit. BJ, if you ever gone out and looked at that, structurally, I don't know if it's as sound as Woodville and Crestview. Have you ever reclaimed that section down? I figured you did. So that one, because we were on a reclaimer, BJ, kind of grind everything up, lower everything out. Lower Elkton hasn't been done.
Okay.
So the cores are reflective in your report, but still at Lower Elkton with the hills that they're going to have to climb coming in. Lower Elkton is a concern, I think, that you may have to watch.
Okay. And obviously, you know, we need to keep that road passable, keep it in current condition. We're you know, obviously dedicated to do that. And then once we evaluate what condition it's in here in the spring, I think then we address is what we're proposing. You know, address it at that time. Do we need a full overlay? Do we need to just patch and do some base repair in places? And you know, see how we need to move forward at that point. But you know, we're obviously not going to run from repairing the roads. I mean, we're going to be here for a while. So. We have plans on
The repairs are going to occur during the winter, but come spring, we're going to redo it.
Correct. So what we're proposing to do is obviously we'll repair as needed throughout the winter, and then in the spring we'll evaluate and see what upgrades we really think need done for two reasons. You know, obviously, one, we're starting to get into the time where, you know, if we're going to do full repair of a road, we're running out of time to get that done in the season. And two, you know, we'll be able to better know what our future plans are in the spring. If we're going to be on that road for the next 10 years, we're probably going to go a little bit further in upgrading that road, knowing that we're going to put more trucks on it, knowing that we're going to be there. In the spring, we're going to know what the results of these wells are going to be, and you know, if they're not great, if we decide, you know, our development plans are going to go differently, you know, then we can probably come back with, well, you know, we just need to make it upgraded to the point or repair it to the point that's going to suffice for the general public use. So.
And who does Mel call if there's an issue with the road?
What's in the Ruma package as far as contact?
I did not put in contact
Okay.
there, because I didn't know if it'd be Stephanie, if it'd be you.
It would be,
Well, just so we have that information.
I believe you met Cody. Cody Blum was out at the,
Yes, I did.
it's either him or Hugh Gregorczyk. There are two construction supervisors. They work 1 week on, 1 week off, so.
And I could actually, if BJ doesn't want to send it over, I could send it over I could send you all their contact
I mean,
information.
as far as if there's a problem on a Sunday morning and there's a hole that's opened up on the road, you know, and I'll get you those contacts.
I just want to make sure that the information is
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Hugh or Cody would be the guys on the ground with the equipment at their fingertips. Obviously, I'm available to push those buttons as well, but they're the guys that are going to be out there on the ground more so than I will.
You guys have cards?
Absolutely. I can give you one.
Unfortunately, I don't, but I'll give you mine.
You're that new.
I am.
Would anybody else like a card? I know Barry has all my information.
Well, I want to make sure you have.
I have the Brad.
Sure.
Here, let me write on the back one here, so that way they'll have.
One thing to keep in mind too with the study, when I went through and did the Ruma study, what we kind of assumed in way of easels for traffic and stuff like that, I was assuming a 10-year period, so that kind of goes back to that's almost like a worst case scenario with that, with figuring fracking and other things of that nature. So what I'm trying to get at is that the traffic on there that was designed for is obviously above and beyond probably what it's actually going to see. So
That's mine.
did anybody else need a business card?
I'll take one.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the process with ODOT is ongoing for the intersection of Woodville because essentially that intersection is not functional to get you guys in and out.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So that process is working now.
Yeah, we've already gone out, we've shot in all the intersections, topoed everything, and we're getting plans together currently to getting a widening plan. I've already talked to ODOT, found out all the information they want on the drawings. The only thing I might have to stop at some point, they want site distances, things like that, so I'm going to have to probably come out at some point in time and just get that information, but plan on getting that stuff together here in the next week or so, and then getting it out to ODOT, and obviously when I get it, would you like me to send it over to you, Barry, as well?
Yeah, it'd be nice to have that information for us. So.
Okay. I could send that over to you, that's not an issue.
So what are you asking us to do?
What we're asking tonight is if we could receive conditional approval based on the county engineer's recommendation to approve the Ruma as written. I don't know if I hope that's...
Well, can we include ODOT too?
Andy's going to review the document. I don't see where Andy would have an issue with the document because really there was no addendums to it. It's just a straight, clean
Right, what we
document.
had before.
Yes.
But when's ODOT gonna complete their, because that ends up being our headache.
Lead time with that, you're probably, if you're getting the plans, you're probably at 2 to a 3 week turnaround.
He told me when I talked, I forget the gentleman's name that I had spoken to over at ODOT, I got it in my notes somewhere, but he said from the point in time that we submit the plans to when they have 30 days to do it, he said typically it's not that long, but he said they're allowed to have 30 days to review it and get back with us. So, like I said, when I get the plans together and I first submit it to ODOT, I can also submit to you guys so you can take a look at it. And they're going to be relatively minor widenings. It's nothing drastic, but it'll be enough. Like I said, all their equipment that they currently need to get the site set up and ready, they'll be able to bring in all the stuff to construct the pads, and then this obviously needs to be done before I bring in some of the larger equipment.
What do you guys want to do? I mean, I don't have a problem. As long as the county's happy with what's going on and the state's happy with what's going on, I mean, I don't have a problem.
I think we kept a good line.
That's basically what we're asking.
Good.
Okay.
You want a motion to that effect?
Well, and I think, if you look at it, this RUMA process is a good faith effort between the township, the county, and also Hillcorp. We know Hillcorp wants to come in here and operate in the township, and we hope to be good neighbors with Hillcorp. This is just the first step of that process. So I really, in looking at it, the only thing that I have is the water RUMA has for the tap pad, the wrong mileage on it. It has the 1.11, it should be .43.
We revised that actually, and I sent that over to Bob Durbin, so that'll be revised on there.
So it's actually a separate agreement for the tap pad?
Well, we had two
The tap
separate.
pad is actually, there's really no long-term traffic there at all. That's an unmanned facility, so.
Yeah, that should be corrected on the, what should be coming through.
And you had said too, Brad, that that revised, you would get lower added there, because it just says Elton Road.
Yeah, it has Lower Elkton on it. I'd gone through that with Stephanie, and we resent those over to Bob Durbin. Actually, I don't remember if I sent that over to you, Melvin, or not, whenever we revised those. I could send that email over to you. Because the other thing that was on there too, she had, when Stephanie had submitted those to me, she had on there about going on, I think it was the county road, was it 440? Which actually, she had just mistaken, because 440 actually terminates into, is it 164? So they're only running on 164. So that was one of the questions from Bob Durbin. So I can send that email over tomorrow when I get in the office. I can send it over to you, Barry, as well, if you'd like.
Is that your motion?
So moved.
I'll second that.
For all three. Yes.
Now, if you guys want a full set of drawings, either with what we submitted, that just basically shows the four sections. I brought two sets if you'd like to have a set.
Well, make sure Mel's got it.
Actually, if you want both of them, or would you like a set, I can get you.
I don't need that.
Here's two full-size sets.
I got enough left.
Okay, Carl made the motion to agree to all three RUMAs as presented, except, we'll get a couple corrections. What do we want to know? To add Lower Elkton and something else was on?
Instead of 1.11 miles for the tap pad, it's .43 pad.
0.43.
Yes.
And that will be reflected with when you get the RUMA agreements from
That's for the
Columbiana County, they'll be revised on that.
On both of these, right? Just on this outside.
One thing too, BJ, with school being in, tonight I've been here, we need to get a hold of the school bus coordinator out here at Crestview. And you could look at some of his travel times through that area.
Okay.
Because I know we have a lot of students out through that way, so.
You have a contact with,
It's Ken Floor.
say that again?
Ken
Floor.
Floor.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I have his, I don't have his number, I'll give it to you after the meeting.
Okay.
We okay as is with the two changes?
Well, it's tentative approval, subject to what's going on with the county.
Tentative approval.
Conditional, whatever word you want to use.
Subject to what, please? Subject to,
The county engineer, the
subject to the county engineer and county prosecutor. And noting these two changes.
And whatever else for those two to approve.
These two changes, you mean? All the approvals here, the county engineer and approval.
Does Waldo talk to the county too?
It's a totally separate block.
Well, their neighbor,
Yes.
different kingdom.
Okay, we have 3 RUMAs presented, and they've also already reviewed what they are, and Carl made the motion to accept the RUMAs with tentative approval subject to the county engineer and county prosecutor's approval, and whatever else it requires. Also, there's 2 changes to be noted. We're going to add lower to the lower Elkton Road instead of Elkton Road. And on the Fairfield tap site, it's 0.43 miles instead of 1.11 miles. Barry seconded. Mr. Hum?
Yes.
Mr. Garwood?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes.
The mileage is how much?
On the tap, only on the one, the tap site has it as 1.11 miles, and it should be 0.43 miles.
That'll come from the prosecutor's office tomorrow.
When he was hoping they would have had it by today, but he said at worst it'd be 3 days, which he took them up there Tuesday or yesterday. So I'd say the end of this week. Yeah, so it'd be end of this week probably, most likely.
Well, let Mel know, and he can circulate it so we can sign it.
And most of that stuff I think should be okay, because I tried to keep Bob and Barry and everybody in the loop when we were doing this, just so there weren't any surprises. So.
Well, we appreciate that too, Brad, because we have kept in the loop. We got the information we had, and we were able to work a little bit with the county engineers. And we got the information, the other 2 trustees, and that, that shows a good faith effort in starting this process out with Hillport. We appreciate that.
Also, I'm glad we got you guys too, absolutely. So.
I like that.
Is it appropriate for me just to ask a question, I guess?
Yeah, go, while they're here.
Barry and Melvin, you're talking about from 558 going north on Lower Option Road with the long drop decks and the weight, is that going to be an issue crossing over the creek there about a quarter of a mile north of 558?
Culvert?
Yeah.
That box?
Yeah.
I think structurally, you guys did a structural visual look at that.
We reviewed it, and it's very stout. The one thing that they were talking about before, when they're going to be doing some of these widenings and stuff like that, is that they might want to possibly feather that out a little bit better from almost back by, I don't know which driveway that is there, but almost from the
I
driveway.
was asking, structurally, I figured that would handle it, but that dip there, that long decks and stuff like that, I figured you hung up on it.
Yeah, when I met with Cody from Hillport, he had thought that whenever they do bring in some of the larger equipment, that they might want to feather that out a little bit. There's a big box culvert that's down there.
Yeah.
But structurally, it's pretty stout. You could tell it was built a while ago. It was very stout.
You're right, John. I didn't think about the length of the low boy, so they may hang there.
Well, that day we were out there and looked at it, the guy you had there from the paving company, made a pavement line. I don't know if you saw it just before Jim's driveway. It's on the road there.
I didn't see it.
He talked about maybe milling out to there and taking some of that out to level that area.
Yeah, we're going to try. He was talking about possibly doing an overlay just at that area, because once you get up over the box culvert, it's relatively flat there, but getting up over that, we had talked about that, correct?
Yeah, that should.
That's actually reflected in one of the rumors. I believe it's mentioned in there.
Just want to feather it out. You've probably been out there, BJ. When you go out, you'll see what we're talking about on Lower Upton.
Just go 60 mile an hour and don't put the brakes on.
As long as I have township approval to do that.
It's been done a lot.
Anything else?
That's all I have, unless you have anything else for me.
Anybody? While they're here?
Well, I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Really do.
Well, you can come back anytime.
You'll see me again, I'm sure. You'll see me. So, I'll let Stephanie know.
Absolutely, and I have her email, so
contact.
I'm going to email her as well and say we talked, and you don't have a card, right? We
I
already
don't.
discussed that, okay.
I can
What's
get
your
you
name?
BJ.
Okay, I'd just like to know who I'm talking to, because I'll name drop you in the email, and then when you touch base, I'm just going to have her send me the same information, so I can send it from the source to our board. And then she would be the contact if the board wants to move forward with the conditional use?
Yes, for now, yes. I will probably end up presenting that, but
So you will be back.
yes.
You want to give him the bus form here? No,
Perfect. You probably drop her a note tomorrow.
Wayne,
Yes, sir.
you have anything to say?
No, sir, I'm just a nosy neighbor.
Oh.
Tell the truth, do I not?
There you go.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
Mary Ann?
No.
We kind of did things backwards, like, 'cause we had so many out-of-town friends.
Not a deer out there tonight, be careful.
I have word that.
I almost got her. Thank you.
I know, I kept giving mine away.
Good seeing you.
You see, what's his number on that?
I don't know his number off the
I just want to say thank you.
Where did you do?
Quite welcome.
Where the country hail from?
I'm actually at the second question.
Hey, hey.
Good night, I don't want.
I
don't want to
living in
say
I
that.
just did the roadway stuff.
I do.
All right, thank you.
Good. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank
Two.
you.
And Molly, are you here with the press, or are you here as a resident? Oh. Pat, what do you have for us?
Oh, my goodness, now, let me get things. Actually, I only really have one thing, and that is a renewal of the, a renewal of the accidental death and dismemberment, the life insurance, and STD policy. No changes, price is the same as last year. This is the final one. We've already done the health one and the dental one and the vision and all that. This will finish it up. Normally, we don't get this until November, so we're getting it out of the way. And so I just need for you to do a resolution 2014 number 86 to reapprove or to approve the life, ADD, and STD as presented.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Hunt,
Yes.
Mr. Garber,
Yes.
and Mr. Meyer.
Yes.
That is pretty much all I have, except Bob did give me this evening a thing from the New Waterford Fire Department for August and September of the fire calls, and I did just receive it, so I'll copy it for next meeting. Is that okay?
Already getting caught.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, trustees have a copy? Okay.
It's just easy.
Okay. I have a copy from, let's see, this is 10/14, 16/14. Okay. I don't think I have anything else. I think I'm good.
Kim?
I don't have much at all. I'm going to add the road run, and one of the things I was going to report was that I hadn't heard from Stephanie at Hillport. So we can scratch that because now we've heard from them. Talk about ruining my whole presentation. And that was about it. It's basically business as usual. It's slowing down this time of year as it does. I was actually just emailing her now. Just a lot of calls about potential, can I put up a carport or a garage than normal? So pretty quiet this time of year. That's all I got.
Carl?
Nothing to say.
Barry?
The only thing I have is just that Coleman property. Are we making any headway there at all with any of that? Because whether we're going to have to go in there and mow with the township portion or something, but it's just a mess. It really is. If I lived by it, I would be screaming.
Yeah, and we haven't gotten anything else from that. They have not responded again. So at this point, do we have to send them a third notice, or do we just say, we tried? Because aren't we allowed to just mow it and...
Didn't you speak with someone?
I did, and she said, send me a second notice. Remember, that's the ones where they say they're not responsible for the house. They're claiming it's not in
Over on Matt's
arrears.
across from John Gross's
But
house.
I swear it is. If it's listed as not belonging to a person, now belonging to the bank, then it's their problem, isn't it?
Yeah, just,
Around the house?
the tax map says it's there.
So I just wonder, I'm happy, do I have to do a third notice, or is 2 enough? Because we send it certified, we know they got it. Because I'm with you, Barry, I think at some point, can't we just mow it and put it on their bank?
Yeah, put them on their taxes.
I mean, because I don't know what else to do. And they really are in some sort of no-man limbo where the bank doesn't feel that they're responsible for it. But who is? There's no person.
There's nobody responsible.
Well, I think the bank is, but they don't think they are, and that's what doesn't make any sense. They're
How many
claiming
acres would you say is there?
There's only
it's a lot, like,
an acre and a half.
yeah, I don't mean it's a lot, I mean, it's a lot, like, it's little. And I don't know, that's where we get to, are we allowed to just, we can't get lucky enough for you to take over every estate that needs volunteers. I mean, I wish.
Well, I've been
you would.
ignoring that property because you talked to that lady.
I know, the first time she was like, send it again and we'll see what we can do, and they're not responding.
All right. Do you have her phone number? Or?
I did. I mean, she's not helpful anymore, but I did. She's
Okay.
no longer.
But
She
you're-
tried to push me off to, I have it over there. She tried to push me off to, I think it's the Fannie Mae people, and of course they're like, why are you calling that?
Well, that's federal government.
Right, yeah, they're not really worried about the grass out here, I can tell you that. But just as a point, are we allowed at some point, if we've kind of, I mean, we
Yeah,
can
there's a process that we have to go through. But then our money's tied up and everything, it goes on a lien and it just sits there forever and ever.
a lien on the property that's probably not worth much.
Well, it's a building site. Could you give me the number? Because I'd like to.
Yeah, I have it over there.
And
I might have it.
let's see what happened. I'll go out and take a look at it.
Be careful, because I got out of the
No,
car.
I went out there.
Ran, and I'm
Somebody
like,
put a
okay.
big building on the corner there that I'd never seen before.
Oh, that's agriculture.
When did that go up?
John Gross.
John Grove.
It's
Okay.
a good shed.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's going to be seed, Wayne.
Yeah, I think it's a grain barn, but don't hold me to that. I know it's agriculture, so I didn't.
For what?
For seed.
Seed?
I think it's for seed.
Wow. It's huge.
And it went up
Before
fast.
if I need you to sign this little ticket, what it's for, I have no idea.
Okay. What is it?
From the post office, it just says postage, doesn't tell you what we're...
Waterford, yeah. Who knows?
Please, before you look at it.
It's probably the notice to...
I mean, I don't even know who it's for.
The only thing we've always done Halloween when Columbiana does theirs. Evidently Columbiana's gonna do it on Friday, and that's,
Crestview Columbiana game.
yeah. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
The good news
Why, you still trick or treat?
Well, I'm using your ball space.
I mean, some of the other communities, what they've done is they've backed it up a day, and they're doing it on Thursday. So I'm just throwing that out. It's just,
Or some places are doing it Friday or Saturday, I mean, so it's not on the school night. It's up to you. I just have to put it on the website.
It just seems strange, Columbiana and Crestview's games that night, and they're going to have trick or treat that night.
The good news, and I don't want to make generalizations, but I think the majority of the township they don't actually trick or treat out here too much. I think Apple's Way does. Oh, we've never trick or treated. My kids are walking down Crestview Road to get candy, the county highway end of it. So I think it's not a huge issue for us, but I agree. Still, I wouldn't. If anyone was foolish enough to try to trick or treat on Sidewalk Road, I don't think the night of the Crestview Columbiana game would be the night I would choose.
Somebody would get killed if they were being on the road.
Yeah. To be fair to the city, I'm guessing it's because I believe the game is at Crestview. I would like to think if it was in Columbiana, they would have made a different decision. They're probably looking at, they're not going to have all the traffic that we are, but Wednesday Waterfords, do you know?
I don't know.
It's always nice if I think one of the reasons we tried to stay with another communities was to prevent, people trick-or-treating 3 nights in a row or what have you.
Yeah.
So, it's up to
But
you.
yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Mine about brown trick-or-treat, so that's not a hill I'm willing to die on, but I just, whatever you want me to put on, you guys tell me. When are most people having, do you know? Do you know when
We were
Waterford's
talking
having?
about that today. And I think New Waterford's doing it Thursday.
Thursday.
I think. I just covered in my camp. They all come together. But you guys are going to... You guys are going to do it when? That's what
I would say, if you want my opinion, and that's all it is, it's not really a zoning issue, I would stick with whatever Waterford's doing, because they're kind of our next closest sister community on that end of the township.
I mean, it's worked out in the past, but this year it's kind of a bump in the road. And I just thought we shouldn't follow, but it's up to you guys what you want to do. Because I'm not going to be trick-or-treating, and neither are my kids. They're going to be at the ball game.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah.
I've never had any trick-or-treaters out my...
I have never in my life had a trick. If you ever saw my driveway, nobody wants a mini candy bar that bad. They're not hiking up there again.
They're more money we do.
There's just certain sections of the township where you have...
Yeah, I know that my kids, I think they're friends on Apple's Way.
You get it out your way?
Yeah, you're on board.
Across the street, kids come over, they're getting bigger, so...
But you don't even have them in your little development, do you? It's just not, there's no sidewalks out here. It's just not really...
certain sections where the neighborhoods are, they probably run back and forth.
I turned out to be afraid to send my kids off these places you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest, my kids always went to the trunk or treat at the church too. Little Jesus, little candy, we're good.
So what do you guys want to do? I just throw it out. I'm going to be at the game.
What are you talking about?
Well, if you want to move trick-or-treating to Thursday for the township, or do you want to leave it with the city for Friday? And what were the hours for Friday?
I think they went 5 to 7.
I was going to say 5 to 7 according. I read it in the paper, but I want to say it was from 5 to 7.
I mean, I know you're not courting popularity, but I will say just among my parent friends, as a resident, it is not a popular decision to have it on Friday night because of the fact that people think that it's not entirely safe or fair to the kids. Because even if you want to take your kids trick-or-treating, who's home? Who's handing out candy? They're just thinking it's not going to be fun for the kids. So I don't have a real strongly held opinion, but I can only speak for a few.
I'm confused, Kim. What are you telling us?
I think that it's probably, and that's totally unscientific, but my feedback from people in conversation is more of them don't like the idea of having it Friday night than do. But I have not taken a poll. But I'm just saying, one of those situations where it's a huge football game. It's a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a big deal.
And either way, you're taking away from that crowd, or you're taking away from the fun. Because I know, like you, is anyone going to be home at your house to hand out candy?
No.
Right. And that's what a lot of people said, is it's not, they like Halloween and they want to enjoy it, and they want to, but they're not going to miss that big Raffle football game and stay home and hand out candy.
So I just think we ought to, this 1 year, make
1
an
year?
exception, back it to when, or back it to Thursday.
Thursday
make
the
it
30th?
from 5 to 7
All right.
in the township.
And what's the date on that Thursday then?
Be the 30th.
30th.
10:30, or
And that's
5 to
5 to
7 in
7
the township.
I'll move the motion.
Second.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mr. Minor?
Yes.
Thursday, 5 to 7, 10:30, on 10:30 and 14.
Carl, we don't want to see you out both nights.
What if he has two options?
Well, they always say you're not too old as long as you wear a costume.
Hey Mel, we've talked about everything we've got. What do you got now?
I don't know, they've got a long list here.
Hide it, there's some of the big thoughts.
Could you finish this for me?
I hope I remember what it was for. Is that from September? You said it right on the back. I did. That is, I wasn't kidding, that's the notice, that was the second notice.
Sign your names on it.
No, it's called, because it's first federal, we still call it Seaman property, because it's really on it. Yeah, no, that's
And just
fine.
sign your names.
I try to avoid water for sunscreen.
One minute, yes.
Nice.
Okay. This is cool, thanks much. You are skipping. I only have 3 pages of paper.
You're gonna have to get some more.
Mel, you're next.
You're gonna need more paper than that.
Okay, well, no copy here.
Just a brief summary of what we've been up to. We finished our hot mix patching of all the roads in the township. So we're done with that. Installed a field drive culvert on Kelly Park that you had the application for. Also some other ditch grading around in other areas. We're continuing to work on our fall roadside mowing. I've had to make a few minor repairs, a water pump in the Ford 4610, some blades, light issues, a few things like that, nothing major. And I did meet with the resident out there at Redpath and Edwards Circle, Bob, and after talking to him for quite a while there, we came to an agreement to get him, he did it himself, and he is now putting him back, and sight distance is much better now.
Good.
Okay, I'll go out there.
Yeah, take a look. I mean, could there be more cut? Probably, but I mean, it's way
It's an
better than it was.
improvement.
It's a huge improvement.
Okay. And we haven't had to cut the trees down.
No, we just were able to prune them back. He kind of just went up and down to one side there. But you can actually pull up there and you can see clear that turn there where that gas marker is now. So
Well, good.
it worked out good. And the only other thing I really have is, they talked to you guys earlier in the summer about crack sealing the section of Lower Elkton, the hot mix section of it. Is that something we'd want to move forward to do? I think it's due to be done.
Would you say the hot mix?
The hot mix section from Old 164, County 440 to Crested Road. I've spoke with a guy from Sealmaster who the city uses, and he said 2 pallets he thought would do that section of road, no more than that, maybe possibly less. And it would be $2,000 a pallet. So talking $4,000 maximum to crack seal that whole section, which is 2.2 miles. If you remember, that estimate I had from Strausser Construction was for $14,469. So by doing it ourselves, we'd save $10,000.
Yeah, if you have time to get that done this fall, Mel, I would suggest yes.
So moved. Pat? Well, you'll need a purchase order and everything, right?
Right. I need a PO for that, for the $4,000 to do that. And
To
he thinks
Seal Master or to?
Seal Master.
They apply it, do they? They do that?
No, we're just getting the machine, the material, and the crew and I would do the work.
Okay, but the PO still goes to Seal Master
Yes,
for 4,000?
yes.
Okay, and it is to
He thought he
crack
could get
seal Lower Elkton, a portion of it that has the hot mix coating on it.
the city's going to have it next week, and then he thought I would be able to get it the week after, so they're looking at, well, maybe even that Friday. So either the 24th or for sure by the 27th.
Carl made the motion.
Second.
Mr. Hung?
Yes.
Mr. Garwood?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes.
And a resolution. Just give me 1 second, please. Resolution number 88. And PO number is 34.
That's all I have.
Anything else?
I was just looking, I don't know if it's going to matter, but election night is the next meeting. Are they going to be utilizing the facility? This polls close at 7.
We vote on Tuesdays.
Yeah, before.
Doesn't matter.
How many fingers am I holding up?
That's one
It's
way.
a long day. I got his back. We're tired over here.
Go back to sleep.
It really doesn't matter, election day is on the 4th.
If you were paying attention.
Let's ask her.
We'll
She
let you
won't like
know
to
on
have meetings
Thursday, how's
election.
that?
I'm the one who tends to have meetings on election day. They usually hit
You
my
have a
group.
meeting that night?
No, well, what's the date, November
It'll be the
4th?
first Tuesday.
It's to, no one can apply now, so no. I'll say no, and someone will call tomorrow, I'll be like, they're
One
out.
precinct will be here.
Yes. Everything's voting the same this year. It's all.
It does seem to work nice, though, to have them here. I mean,
The
Well, it's
last,
convenient.
in the last 2 times I've had it in this room back here. Yeah.
and I think the one time when they were here, in here, we just went down there. So
Yeah. That's why I started just.
so nice to have a big building that you can,
Someday we'll probably have more here.
Sound good.
So the result should be in by our meeting.
That's why I told you, we'll let him know what happened.
No Thursday. I'll probably show up on that.
Motion to adjourn? So moved.
don't leave without me getting you that number, Bob.
Okay, this is
Seal
good.
Master address.
Yeah, because Fannie Mae, that's the federal government.